A handful of games have been recommended to me so far on the channel, but one of them stands out above all of the others, and that is Scratches. FanCreeper reached out to me on Twitter, at PainticusYT, suggesting I cover it, and that opened up a whole vault of memories that I forgot I had. Scratches is an almost mythical game to me. My taste for horror began in around 2007, thanks largely due to the goddamn zombie from the start of the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, which, by the way, has left such a deep impression on me that I still get the old heebie-jeebies whenever I've finished creating whatever hellspawn I wish to play. And after that, my taste for horror began. I'd begin reading up plot synopsis of scary movies, becoming engrossed in urban legends and creepy tales, but above all else, I'd be looking for scary games, and whenever somebody would recommend Silent Hill or System Shock 2, or even Alone in the Dark, one name would be brought up, alone amongst the tide of popular horror games: Scratches. And it was always well reviewed and promised to be one of the scariest game experiences I would ever have. But for whatever reason, I never got it. Maybe I was intimidated by it, maybe I just didn't want to be disappointed. Whatever my reason was, I never got around to it. Fast forward to today and my taste for horror is livelier than ever, and after receiving FanCreeper's tweet, I have to buy Scratches. But well, it's been removed from Steam and everywhere else, so yeah, thanks for watching, bye bye. Nah, I'm just joking around. The Scratches developers actually have a Discord, and if you are active enough there, they can give you a free Scratches key. So while I work on that, let's take a look at another one of their games. Serena, recommended to me from the kind people of the Discord, and I know absolutely nothing about it. So, let's take a look. Just for the record, this is a very short game. It'll take less than an hour to beat for most people, so if you enjoy point-and-click adventure games, go and play it. It's free. Anyway, we start the game, and we are in a cabin. A remote cabin. Far away from society. And if books, movies, TV, games, and actual crime stories have taught me anything, it's that we are safe. And the objective of the game is to find our wife, Serena, who has presumably interfered with the space-time continuum. And yeah, that's the game. Go and find your wife. Here's a detailed rundown of the gameplay. Click on things. But here's the twist. You must, and I cannot stress this enough, you must point at things first. So, yeah, mechanically, it's pretty straightforward. What's not as straightforward are the actual objectives. Not the find your wife objective, but the actual interactions you need to make, and usually I'd have a problem with this, but in a game of this scale, it just kind of works. It doesn't take long to stumble across the right stuff, and that initial confusion both fits the narrative and kickstarts the atmosphere. September 1999 was another game that did this, and while Serena isn't quite as concise as September 1999, it still manages to achieve a wonderfully dread-inducing atmosphere. Now, I mentioned dread, but is this a horror game? Oddly, I think that's up to interpretation. I'd personally say that thematically it's a dark drama. That's not to say it's without horror, it simply doesn't define it. Not to me, anyway. Again, it's not without horror. I mean, come on, dust mites are no joke.
All the real color faded from it long ago. It must be full of dust mites.
Ah! And like any good point-and-click game, it's got some great Easter eggs and little jokes here and there. This whole bookcase is an example of it. Adventures of a Scary Bear. Horton hears some unpleasant truths about himself. Zombie space dinosaurs from the deep ate my family. So you want to be a purple tentacle. Dagon for goats. And that's why I'm single. You know, that last one is a great tagline for this channel. Anyway, as for the actual content of the game, it uses a very interesting kind of storytelling that definitely has a name, but I can't think about it. And it's where the world, or, well, the cabin, doesn't change, but the protagonist does. You only have so many things to inspect, but the character's view of them gradually changes over time, meaning that, functionally, there's actually a ton of stuff to interact with in this tiny area. And you know, there was a time when I disliked the point-and-click adventure genre, as I thought it was extremely limited in scope. It doesn't have the wildly variable level design of action games, the mechanical complexity of RPGs, or the same level of interaction as other story-based formats. But what it does have, above all other genres, is narrative flexibility. Because our options for movement and interaction are so limited, developers can really emphasize the narrative importance of the few things we can use to some really interesting and unique effects, and Serena proves this. This game is not about the cabin you're in, or even the woman you're looking for. This game is about the guy you're playing. And that's not immediately apparent, but the way they handle the narrative is masterfully done, and that becomes fairly clear by the end. Another notable thing about this game for me personally is that it made me realize something terrible about myself. In the opening, our character is all like, Where's my wife? She is great, and she is good, and she is pure. And my immediate thought was, she's buried under the goddamn floorboards, isn't she? And well, I don't think that's the emotion they were going for with that heartfelt intro. I'm just a bastard, man. Oh well.
No trapdoor under there, just more creaky floor.
Oh, I'm gonna get you, you lying son of a... Breaking down the story that unfolds really makes me think that there's a lot more to this game than what is initially apparent. It definitely has something to say, but I'll leave that up to you guys. Again, it's free and short. Go and play it. And to wrap things up, let's have a lightning round. How's the style? Great. How's the music? Surprisingly good. How are the controls? Way too sensitive, but I stopped noticing after a few seconds. How's the writing? Excellent. Very human. How are the floorboards? Suspicious. Overall, great. Ranking, great. But where? There. Thanks for watching? Yeah. Thanks for watching. Twitter, @PainticusYT. End of video? Yes.